The small habits and the small things that we often overlook, they definitely count, even if most people tend to overlook them or not really think about them. Just trust me and believe me, they definitely count and they definitely add up over time. So, whether that be a small bad habit or small good habit, they're very important to pay attention to and really focus on, and it will make a difference. So, today I'm just going to briefly explain to you why you should really focus on the small things as well and really focus on pretty much perfecting them as best as you can. And then just learn to go with the flow with these kind of things. And when I mean these small habits, I mean like if you have a goal that you're trying to achieve, you have like little things in your diet you're trying to improve, anything of that nature. Everyone knows that small habits over time build up. Like for example, if there's like a leak in your house and it's just a small little drip, it seems like a small little drip at first, and then next thing you know there's like a fucking like water damage and stuff. So everything small eventually adds up over time. So we might as well use that to our benefit. We want to go ahead and use these small habits and these small little things that we don't pay too much attention to and use them to benefit our lives. Yeah, all small little habits and all small goals, they pretty much end up turning into bigger goals, bigger projects, bigger everything bigger, right? You can't Most people that get big things done, they don't just get them done like that. You know what I mean? Nobody just like wants to build a house and they have the house already ready, or nobody builds a company and they have the, like a $1 billion company ready. It always starts in very small increments. Same with people who go to the gym. If you start working out and going to the gym, you're not just gonna go in, lift the heaviest weights, and be huge the next day. Like you're just gonna take your time, start off with small, and then you slowly build up, on top of that. So definitely very important to keep in mind these small habits and really lock in and perfect them as much as you can. And don't bullshit yourself. Like every time that you have something you want to do, or if you're going to do anything, you might as well try your best to do it right. For example, I don't know if you know this, but a lot of the times, usually the last like 10 to 5% of whatever you're doing is when it counts the most. So usually when most people will give up, if you just give that extra little bit of 5 to 10% at the very end, especially when you're just overlooking it, that's usually what makes the biggest difference. So for example, sometimes if you're at work and you're already gassed out for the day, you're already like mentally not there, usually that last little bit sometimes can make the biggest difference for the whole day. Or for example, you're already really tired, you're gonna, instead of eating like some fruit that's healthy for you, will help you stay on your goals and your diet, you eat like, I don't know, a donut or something when you weren't supposed to, right? That stuff starts to add up over time. Even if it doesn't seem like a lot, like you're building resilience every time you avoid doing things like that and you push through anyways. And if it's a good habit, you'll start to progressively get better and better and start to get better results. Then if it's a bad habit, you'll progressively start to go the other way. So it's a double-edged sword. You can use it however you want, but I'm just letting you know it's in your best interest to use it for your own benefit and use it in a positive way. Start off small on all these little things, slowly. Like if you're going to start eating healthy, any progress is better than no progress, right? Any progress is better than no progress, and anyone that tells you otherwise probably doesn't have your best interest in mind, honestly. But for example, let's say that you want to start going to the gym. You obviously aren't going to be going 7 times a week. I mean, you can try, but most likely you'll burn out. So instead, what you'll probably want to do is start off with a couple days and then slowly build up, and you want to make it a habit. So you go once every week. And that's still better because you're making progress. Then the next after like, I don't know, a month or 2 weeks or however that pace is good for you, you add an extra. And so as long as you keep building little over little, eventually you'll start to go on an upward spiral, and you'll start to get significant process, especially over the long haul. Because just picture yourself compared to someone that doesn't do that. So the person that doesn't even go to the gym because he's like, why bother? Like if I'm not going to go 7 days a week, what's the point? And you started off with 1 day. Even if you just went 1 day compared to the person that went none, you'd still have noticeably like impressive results compared to him or her. So keep that in mind and use that to your advantage. As long as you just stay consistent on these little things, it's okay. Like it's okay to fail. It's okay to do all these things, and no one's gonna be perfect. And anyone that tells you that it's not okay fail every once in a while, or they tell you like, no, you gotta stay locked in and you gotta do all this stuff. Like, come on, like they're either like, lying about it, or they're just not. You probably wouldn't want to live that kind of lifestyle anyways, where your life is just always perfect, you never mess up, you never do that. Like, that sounds kind of unrealistic and a little bit psychopathic, to be honest. And anyone that says that they do anything like that, like never takes a day off, never does that, they're most likely lying, unless like they're just completely built different, which I'm sure there's probably like one or a little handful of people on the planet like that. Yeah, just stay consistent, take it easy, make sure you try and build that habit. And once something becomes a habit, it just becomes so much easier. After a long time of going to the gym, it just becomes pretty fun. It starts to become a habit. So try to make that into all the stuff that you're supposed to do anyways. And it's a lot easier to do a habit, you know what I mean? Once it's already turned into a habit. Yeah, just by doing this small little change, really giving it your effort in the last 10%. Like, for example, in my work, I do sales. I sell, insurance, auto insurance, car insurance, home insurance, pretty much any type of insurance, right? Really, the times when it counts the most is when I don't want to do it. I'll be kind of, drained out. I'll be screen high, you know what I mean? I'll just be like, ugh. And then usually that's when I have to really lock in, and that'll make my difference in the month. Like, I really got to lock in, still focus, still call everyone I'm supposed to. So it's that little small difference in attitude and just in overall discipline that makes that difference, and it really does help. Or for another example, sometimes when you're doing, like, for example, skincare routines, I always want to make sure I take care of my skin and stay properly groomed. I could just stop doing it last minute, but at the end of the day, these little habits start to build up. And if I want fresh and healthy and clear skin, then I got to make sure I get that taken care of. If not, over time, I'll definitely see a difference. So just keep that in mind as well. You have time to reflect and really think about what it is you're doing, and it gives you time to be fluid and be able to make the adjustments needed. Because pretty much in the grand scheme of things, when you're doing all this, you want to take things slowly, but you never want to just think only one way. You always want to be evolving and adapting, and that's what's going to get you, I feel, the best results, because we're constantly learning new things, and you don't want to just stay like one way forever. You want to constantly be evolving and learning new things. So taking it in small little steps definitely helps you adjust and get overall better results. So just make sure at the end of the day, this small little tip that I gave you is going to help you tremendously. Make sure you make sure you really lock in when it matters, and don't skip out on the small things, because they'll make the biggest difference before you know it. You know what I mean? Think about someone that smokes like every day. It might just be one cigarette every day, but if you see that cigarette spread out through like years and years and years, that's what really makes a difference compared to that person that smokes one little cigarette a day compared to someone that has never smoked. You'll see a huge difference in their lungs, their face, their body, how they act, how they are, all just because of a tiny little habit. So use the power of that tiny little habit for the rest of your life. And it's a double-edged sword. It can either benefit you or it can hinder you and make your life worse. So the choice is yours.